Let's revisit this Texas State trooper because he is in a world of trouble after what went down in November. The cop was shown on video for the whole world to see just how small-minded one can be. He intentionally wedged himself between a pair of South Carolina football players. He would then raise his left arm, forcing a bump and causing absolute chaos. The players who were dragged into the unfortunate circumstances are Nyck and Oscar Adaway. The irony is Harbor just hauled in an 80-yard tutty but was making his way towards the tunnel because of an apparent right leg injury. In my view, the reaction from the D1 athletes say it all. The worldwide motion of, what the heck, dude? What is your problem? They were 100% in the right and the officer was 100% in the wrong. Folks reacted to this news accordingly.
Maybe the loudest bull at the end of that thing. If I had to guess, I wanted to place myself in that tunnel just to see when old buddy decided, not on my field. Like, what was that first? Touchdown walks by, like, is it immediate? This is my land. And then when he turns and sees him down the tunnel, hey, I'm protecting this tunnel. Then thinks to himself, I need to let them know that this ain't how it goes. He clearly extends arm to hit them both. And why do you need to get down that tunnel at that exact time? Say you weren't trying to hit them. I had places to go. They were in my way. Why were they in the tunnel? They're supposed to be on the field. He potentially says, well, why did you intentionally hit them then as opposed to not trying to walk around them? It's a tight tunnel. You have no awareness. There's really no defense. Saw it. Oh, that looks terrible. That can't be real. Next week. His has been fired.
From Pat McAfee and crew.
Would you ever behave like that when you're an officer?
I mean, did I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, it's called policing with your ego. I mean, is it right? Find time that law enforcement, in an effort to be transparent, starts letting the public know how it is that they are disciplining their officers when they engage in such public displays of inappropriate and aggressive conduct.
Can you imagine how he treats people? That was a cop hopped up on power and it was racist, period. You don't need a panel discussion to see it. You don't need a PhD or a think tank. You can watch that tape and the truth just jumps right out you as to what it is. That was a man in uniform. He wanted to remind this group of young black men right in the middle of their moment that he was the authority in the building, and he wanted in the stadium. He wanted dominance, and he wanted the last word. He wanted them to feel small.
To Don Lemon and former Capitol Police Officer Michael Fanone. The update would go as follows. Via the Post and Courier, Adaway filed a criminal complaint against the Texas State trooper who touched him and receiver Nyck during the game, an act that got the trooper immediately sent home. The Texas Department of Public Safety said that they would investigate further. We have learned that Adaway has retained Houston-based litigator B. Keith Jackson as his counsel. His areas of practice are criminal law defense, personal injury, contract law, commercial litigation, and commercial and municipal debt collection. The Washington Post's Robert Klemko, who I have known of since his MMQB days with Sports Illustrated, would report that Adaway and his family have been in, quote, distress since the incident took place, and when they called Texas A&M police to file a report for the assault that practically the whole world saw at this point, the trooper's name was not provided. Jackson would tell Klemko, the blue wall is a real thing as it relates to protecting their own in this part of the country more so than others. I do think there's a good chance they bring charges, only because of the video that was shown across the country that shows there was an assault committed. At the time of the incident, Texas A&M police would post this statement on Twitter. We are aware of the incident in the Northeast Tunnel involving a DPS trooper. He has been relieved of his game day assignment. This obviously was not enough. Speaking on the incident, Adaway's father, a former professional soccer player, was quoted as saying, they slowed it down and you could see where Oscar tries to step out of his way and the man steps into Oscar. You just bullied my kid because you got a damn badge on. The elbowing is a good candidate for third-degree assault by offensive touching, a Class C misdemeanor in Texas, said Shane Phelps, a criminal defense attorney and former first assistant DA in Brazos County, where A&M's campus is located, reported Klemko. Adaway has now said that he has lost sleep over the incident and he is seeing a sports psychiatrist who is with the university.
My first thought in seeing this, and I even posted it, this was my first thought, was that if he will do this in front of a crowded filled stadium where he knows the cameras are on him, He knows that this player just got a touchdown. He knows everybody is watching. And he has no issues behaving the way that he behaved for the entire world to see. So if he's willing to do that with no hesitation, what is he doing when he stops black people on the side of the road as a highway patrolman? How does he act in his everyday interactions with black people in particular? If you're willing to scold an athlete who literally just scored a touchdown in front of everybody, how are you acting in your everyday practice as a policeman? And that is the bigger issue to me when you say, yes, you want everybody to kind of limit their expectations that he's probably not going to get fired. Being sent home for the day is nothing. That was nothing. That's not. Yeah, that's a little a light tap on the wrist. Not even a smack. That's a light tap. You know what I mean? What he should have been, in my opinion, was fired on the spot. There should have been an address by the head of the Texas police or the Texas state troopers that said, this is not what we're about. This is not what we stand for. This is not our, what we teach. This is not what is acceptable for us. That's what it should have been immediately. But we didn't see that.
One of the most boneheaded things I saw on this subject came from former Texas A&M football player, former Cleveland Brown, and Heisman Trophy winner Johnny Manziel. It was incredibly dumb. On Shannon Sharp's podcast, Manziel said, and I do quote, "Around here in these parts, partner, we protect this house. We paid a lot of money for this house. Get out of my tunnel, boy. Get back on the field." So he gave him a little something. Let him know what's up. That is Klemko writing of what Manziel said, as it appears he's trying to minimize the entire situation and take the troopers' side. As of this taping, the biggest hurdle that the Adaways have is that they still don't know the trooper's name. Somehow, some way, in the world of the internet sleuths, we don't know his name. At one point, Adaway told his dad, who was eating in the town where Texas A&M is located, they feared for his safety, so he left. This family has gone through a lot with previous family members, and now they are going through it in a different way, but more so being led into trauma that they never asked for. Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/TYT Sports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.